Happy waking back. Good morning. How are you? I am Nikki K, the Great, your personal pretend prophet. I will be reading you Das Bible like you have never heard before. So, take your pills. Make sure you took your pills. I know it's super fucking late. It's totally my bad. But make sure you took your pills. Double check, right? Then grab your smokes. Grab a smoke. Grab the smoke. Grab a smoke. Then pack a bowl. We're smoking a joint today because, well, we're feeling hood rich. So roll a joint, right? And then get your hey, hey. We've got keep ourselves alive juice today. Okay, and I told you what it would be. So, it's tonic water with quinine. So, listen, did I tell you how? Okay, for some reason, this is diet tonic water. I don't know how water is diet, but I think this just might have been whatever was on sale. So, we got diet tonic water with quinine. So, let me tell you. I was watching Bar Rescue. I watch Bar Rescue a lot. John Taffer is my hero. He's the Donald Trump of the bar world. I fucking love John Taffer. Anyway, they use tonic water with quinine in nightclubs and shit because quinine glows in the dark. The other cool thing about quinine, it's an antiviral. Yeah, and you can buy it. Okay, you can buy it. But it's like you gotta know measurements and it's math. And it's like, fuck that. So, what I've been doing since the beginning of the Koofy, right, is drinking tonic water with quinine. And then putting fruit in it. Okay, so a serving size of fruit is 1 cup. So, like, if you want various fruits, then, like, cut it in half. Or just go all in and have a cup full of quinine and sugar. And also beets, because beets are good for your blood. So you should have some beets in there also. I dehydrate my beets and turn it into a powder and then just put a tablespoon of beets in there. Right. And then whatever vitamins I find on sale or whatever ones I get prescribed, vitamin D, multivitamins, magnesium oxide, um, folic acid, and they're B12, just random vitamins and some probiotics. Right. Put those in there, blend it all up, and drink a cup of this in the morning. And everybody, like literally everybody from the first person to the last person in my family has got Das Kuf. I have not got Das Kuf, and I think it's because quinine and fruit and vitamins and beets. So if you feel like you might want to try it, it has helped me. I don't know if it will help you, but it's probably worth a try. Anything to say Koofy free. And also the flu. Who knows? They're viruses. And quinine is an antiviral. So, just throwing that out there for good measure. And if you don't have any of that, get some keep other people alive juice because we have both. Now that we're done with that wild ass introduction, let's read Luke chapter 19. I don't know how many chapters there are in this book. Let's find out. Okay. So we got a little while until we got to read about his death, I think. But this is when they're like, nah, you cannot go. You cannot go. All right, so Luke chapter 19. Look, Nikki, I swear to God, there's not as many typos as you think. You need a coupon. There is as many typos as I think, by the way. He entered Jericho and was passing through it. A man there named Zacchaeus. He was chief tax collector and was rich. There's a song by the band Typo Negative. Rest in peace, Peter Steele. There's a song called "In Praise of Bacchus." And just when I see this name, it's like, I think of that song. Hey, Bacchus. Anyway, this guy is called Zacchaeus, and he was rich. And he was trying to see who Jesus was. But on account of the crowd, he could not, because he was short in stature. Alright, so all he could see was Dick. So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore to see him, because he was going to pass that way. When Jesus came to the place, he looked up and said, Hey, Zacchaeus, hurry and come down, for I must stay at your house today. So he hurried down and was happy to welcome Jesus. All who saw it began to grumble and said, He has gone to be the guest of one who is a sinner. Bitch, go somewhere. And Zacchaeus stood there and said, Look, half of my possessions, Lord, I will give to the poor. And if I have defrauded anyone, I will pay back 4 times. And then Jesus said, Today's salvation has come to this house, because he too is a son of Abe. There you go. For the Son of Man came to seek out and to save the lost. As they were listening to this, he went on to tell a parable, because he was near Jerusalem and because they supposed that the kingdom of God was to appear immediately. Yeah, instant gratification. Apparently that's been a thing long before right now. And he said, a nobleman went to a distant country to get royal power for himself and then returned. He summoned 10 of his slaves and gave them 10 pounds and said to them, Do business with these until I come back. Here you go. But the citizens of this country, but the citizens of his country hated him and sent a delegation after him, saying, We do not want this man to rule over us. So he must have been a Joe Biden. When he returned, having received royal power, he ordered these slaves to whom he had given the money to be summoned, that he might find out what they had gained by trading. The first came forward and said, Lord, I made twice what you gave me. And he said, Well done, good slave, because you have been trustworthy in a very small thing. Take 10 large cities. Then the second came and said, I only had 5 pounds. And he said to them, then you get 5 cities. And the other came, saying, Lord, here is your pound. I wrapped it up in a piece of cloth, for I was afraid of you, because you are a harsh man. You take what you did not deposit and reap what you did not sow. He said, I will judge you by your own words, you wicked slave. You knew, did you, that I was a harsh man, taking shit I did not deserve. Why then would you put my money into the bank when I returned? I could have collected it with interest. And he said to the bystanders, take the pound from him and give it to the one who has 10 pounds, and say to him, the Lord. Then they said to him, Lord, he has 10 pounds. Come on, get up here. Come on. Shit. 1 second, she wants to play fetch. Here, ready? Get over here. Look. Look, she brought it back. Good one. Where is it? Where'd you throw it? Oh, there it is. She brought it back. Wild cat. Okay. But he says, I'm telling you, to all those who have, more will be given. But from those who have nothing, even what they have will be taken away. See, this is another one of those things. It's like, but more what? What? More, is it more fetch? You know, I'm making my video, Captain. Oh my God, I just threw it in the trash. Okay, 1 second. Oh my God, I just threw it in the trash. All right, 1 second. I'm going to pause right here. So take your break. We'll be back in just a second. All right, told you we'd be back at the same time. I apologize about that. I accidentally threw her ball in the trash can. Okay. So back to where we was. Like what exactly, like what is he talking about? If you have more what? More wisdom, more love, more knowledge, more what? Like is it more of a plethora of things? I don't know. But it says, as for these enemies of mine who did not want me to be king over them, bring them here and slaughter them in my presence. What? But as for these enemies of mine who did not want me, after he had said this, what does it mean? What? Who's he talking about? They said to him, Lord, he has 10 pounds. So is the man telling him that? I don't understand. But then, after he had said this, he went on ahead, going up to Jerusalem. And when he had come near Bethpage and Bethany at the place called Mount of Olives, he sent two of his disciples. See, doesn't this sound like it's a tavern or something? But it's an actual mountain. But it sounds like a tavern. Okay. He said, "Go into the village ahead of you, and as you enter, you will find, it's only one, and it's a baby donkey this time. It's not a baby donkey and a grown-up donkey. Now it's just a baby, and it has never been ridden. Untie it and bring it here. And if anyone asks you, what are you doing? Say, hey, Jesus." So those who were sent departed and found it, and as he had told them. But when they were like, "Hey, what are you doing?" they was like, "Hey, Jesus." And then, bam, they had it. And they brought it to Jesus, and after throwing their cloaks on the colt, they set Jesus on it. And as he rode along, people kept spreading their cloaks on the road. And as he was approaching the path down from the Mount Olives, the whole multitude of the disciples began to praise God joyfully with a loud voice for all the deeds of power they had seen, saying, "Blessed is the King who comes in the name of the Lord. Peace in heaven and glory in the highest heaven." Okay. I don't know exactly how to say this in Jew, but I know Baruch Shep Adonai is Jew for blessed is he that comes in the name of the word of the Lord. I don't know what the king word in Jew is. But then it says, some of the Pharisees in the crowd said, "Teacher, order your disciples to stop." And he answered, "Listen, if these guys were silent, the stones would shout out. So, get used to it." As he came near and saw the city, he wept over it, saying, "If you, even you, had only recognized on this day the things that make for peace, but now they are hidden from your eyes. Indeed, the days will come upon you when your enemies will set up ramparts around you and surround you and hem you in on every side." Come here, Captain. Come on. There you go. Okay. And they will crush you to the ground, and your children with you. Something. Okay. And your children with you. And they will not leave within you one stone upon another, because you did not recognize the time of your visitation from God. And they never will. They never will. Then he entered the temple and began to drive out those who were selling things there. So Jesus dun, 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 dun. Just one of those days. Look, yeah, Jesus is feeling like a freight train. He's like, "I'm going off the rails." And he said, "It is written, my house shall be a house of prayer. But you motherfuckers made it a den of robbers. Fuck you guys." Get all your shit and go. Every day he was teaching in the temple. The chief priests, the scribes, and the leaders of the people kept looking for a way to kill him. Yeah, you jealous, snaky Jews. These guys suck. I don't like these guys. But they did not find anything because he followed the Constitution, dick fucks. For all the people were spellbound by what they heard. Yeah. All right. So, where we at? Okay. Look, we're going to pause here again. So, for real this time, get filled up on your shit and, hit this joint and we'll be right back. Okay. Welcome back. Okay. So now we're on Luke 20. And it says, one day as he was teaching the people in the temple and telling the good news, the chief priests and the scribes came with the elders and said to them, they said to him, tell us, by what authority have you been doing these things? Who is it that gave you this authority? And he said, okay, but you got to answer me first, right? Did the baptism of John come from heaven or humans? And they discussed it with one another and they were like, but heaven, and then you'll be like, you didn't believe him, but then if we say humans, all the people will stone us because he was a prophet, man. And they were like, okay, you know what, we don't know, dude. And then Jesus was like, well, I'm not fucking telling you either, fuck off. And he began to tell the people this parable. A man planted a vineyard and leased it to tenants, and he went to another country for a long ass time. When the season came, he sent a slave to the tenants in order that they might give him his share. But the tenants beat him and sent him away empty-handed. Next, he sent another, and they also beat and insulted and sent him away empty-handed. And a third, and this one, they wounded this guy, and then they made him go. Then the owner of the vineyard said, what shall I do? I will send my son. Perhaps they will respect him. This, why do you do this? This guy. But when the tenants saw him, they said, this is the ruler. Let us kill him and then we can steal his inheritance. That's not how that works. Yeah, I just found that out. Like, if you kill somebody with life insurance, they have life insurance, you don't get the life insurance. So why do people kill people for life insurance? You don't even get it. You don't get to keep it. But okay. So they threw him out of the vineyard and killed him. What then will the owner of the vineyard do? He will come and destroy those tenants and give the vineyard to others. When they heard this, they said, heaven forbid! Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Nobody's going to do that. Who did that? You can't do that. You Jews did it. You Jews do it a lot. Yeah. You kill your own kind. But he looked at them and said, what then does this text mean? The stone that the builder refuses becomes the key cornerstone. right? What does that mean? What does it mean? And then he's like, everyone who falls on that stone will be broken to pieces, and it will crush anyone on. Oh, okay, never mind. I guess this is the whole thing. Wait a minute. What does this text mean? The stone that the builder refuses becomes the key cornerstone. Everyone who falls on that stone will be broken to pieces, and it will crush anyone on whom it falls. You don't know what that means. It means the asshole that you guys bully is going to end up being your boss. So be careful, right? When the scribes and the chief priests realized he had told this parable against them, they wanted to lay hands on him at that very hour. You jealous, snaky Jews. Ah, you guys suck. But they feared the people. Yeah, Democrats. You fear the people. Yes, Democrats fear the people. So they watched him and sent spies who pretended to be honest. Look, that right there is how you know. They know they're bad guys. They know they're bad guys. They're like, hey, pretend to do the good thing. And they're like, hey, we might be able to. So they wanted to trap him by what he said. So as to hand him over to the jurisdiction and authority of the governor. So they asked him, Teacher, we know you are right in what you say and what you teach. You know, because we know we're snakes. So, like, we know you're right. And you don't really care about who is who. Like, it doesn't really matter. You know, because you tell the truth. And that hurts our feelings a lot, you know. You offend us highly. But only because it's true. We're only offended because it's true, and we are mad you would even say it out loud. So, with that being said, is it lawful to pay taxes to the emperor? But he was like, these snaky Jews. He was like, all right, show me a penny. I want to see das monies. Right? And he was like, all right, whose head is on this? And they were like, the emperor's. And then he was like, okay, we'll give it to the emperor. You guys are dumb. God wants what's God's. He don't care about das money. And they were not able, in the presence of the people, to trap him by what he said. And being amazed by his answer, they became silent. I bet you did, you snaky Jews. Go back to your hole. And some Sadducees who say there is no resurrection came to him. So why would they even ask about the resurrection if they're like, there's no such thing? Why would they ask him about it? But okay. And they were like, Moses wrote for us. If a man's brother dies, leaving a wife but no children, the man shall marry the widow and raise up children for his brother. The funniest story in the Bible is the guy that squirts on the floor. He's like, I don't want my brother to have a baby. And then God's like, the seed, you're dead. Right? He's like, what are you doing? There's a comedy song about that. Onan something. Anyway, the ode to Onan. I don't know, funniest fucking song. And it's all about that story, which is the funniest story. Anyway. Okay. So now there were 7 brothers, right? And they all married and died childless. And then the woman died. In the resurrection, whose wife will the woman be? Because all 7 married her. These guys. These guys. And then Jesus was like, those who belong to this age are married and are given in marriage. But those who are considered worthy of a place in that age and in the resurrection from the dead, neither marry or are given in marriage. Indeed, they cannot die anymore because they are like angels and are children of God, being children of the resurrection. And the fact that the dead are raised, Moses himself showed in the story about the bush, where he speaks of the Lord as the God of Abe, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jake. Now he is of the dead. Wait a minute. Now he is God, not of the dead, but of the living. For him, all of them are alive. Then some of the scribes were like, yeah, can't argue. For they no longer dared ask him another question. Yeah, probably not, because you probably just pissed all over yourself fanboying over Jesus. Okay. Then he said to them, how can they say that the Messiah is David's son? Yeah, because he's not. He's not. He's not, as a matter of fact. And I think Jesus is saying that right here. I can't be David's son because I'm not from that bloodline. Anyway, controversial. Don't come after me. I'm just thinking. For David himself says in the book of Psalms, the Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand. Okay, so is this ancient God talking to God, capital G? Is this ancient God talking to capital G or capital G talking to capital J? I don't know. But it says, Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies your footstool. David thus calls them Lord. So how can he be his son? That's what I said. In the hearing of all the people, he said to the disciples, here we go. Beware of the scribes who like to walk around in long robes and be greeted with respect and treated like their shit don't stink. They devour widows' houses and for the sake of appearance say long prayers. But they will receive the greater condemnation because they fucking suck and the sneaky Jews. Yes, very bad guys. Anyway, thank you for watching. Make sure to drink the Keep Ourselves Alive juice. It is antiviral. But don't replace it with water and don't drink more than like 2 cups of it. I try to only drink 1 cup of it a day because you can overdose on quinine and it causes severe dehydration and projectile vomiting. I may or may not have done that accidentally. So be careful with it. But it's some good shit and it's healthy for you. And the Koofy Koof has not invaded my personal space as of right now. So I swear by it. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for watching and have the greatest day ever.